Hello and welcome to the Sun Times Online Desi Martini. My name is Sandeep, and today I have with me the wonderful actress Taapsee, who is again going to star beside Mr. Amitabh Bachchan in her next flick, Badla. Hello, Taapsee.
Hello.
Hi. Taapsee, a long journey, a lot of accolades, lovely performances, many films, wonderful star cast, and you've been a part of many stalwart films as well. So, how has it been? How has the journey been for you? And are you in a happy space?
I am in a happy space. I think regardless of whatever ups and downs you feel, the point is you should be in a happy space because otherwise you're not really living your life.
Absolutely.
Highs and lows, if there are no lows, then you really can't experience the happiness of highs. So that's okay. And I've experienced both. I think life has been good so far. And I have nothing to complain about.
The film is an official remake of a Spanish film, Contra Tiempo, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
And in English, it's called The Invisible Man.
Yes.
So, all right. You've got to tell me, as in, how much of the original screenplay has been retained, and what all? I mean, how much of it has been, renewed for that matter for the viewing public in India.
If I'm going to tell you that, who will?
If not everything, I mean, you've got to at least tell me. I mean, because mostly if it's a remake, very few original attributes of the film, for that matter, is retained by most of the filmmakers. So how much of it is actually retained?
I'll just say, even if you watched that film, you will still enjoy this film.
Okay.
So it's not like, in most of the films we say, most of the films that are made, we know what the ending is going to be. We know that eventually the boy meets girl and we're going to have a happy ending, but that doesn't deter us from watching films.
Absolutely.
So I think people who've seen the original also will have fun with this one, because when we Indianize it, we kind of add elements that help us relate the situation with the audience.
Absolutely.
So I think that's why, and Sujoy is extremely good at getting the things right in terms of how Indian audience will feel a personal connect. Otherwise, there are so many European films, that probably our audiences will feel alienated from. So I think that is extremely critical, which we think we have achieved with this film. What and how and all, if I'll tell the difference and you see the original, then what's the point of watching this?
Absolutely.
So it's better you all watched in theaters.
Yeah. Taapsee, you've got to tell me, this is your second film with Mr. Bachchan. Do you consider yourself to be lucky for the fact that this is the second time again you're working with a stalwart?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I have to be lucky. I always say my luck line is longer than my lifeline. Which is...
That's a revelation, guys.
Yeah, it is. I'm pretty open about this fact, and that's why there are a lot of opportunities that come your way because of your luck. And this being one of them, that not many people get a chance to work with him. And I'm getting this the second time. I'm just hoping and praying we repeat the magic so that people can cast us together again.
What exactly, you went through, or what was your psyche when you said yes to the film? Besides the fact that Mr. Amitabh Bachchan was a part of the screenplay or the script.
When I said yes to the film, Sir was not a part of it.
Okay.
When I said yes to the film, the producer came up to me and told me that this is the script, and I read it and saw the film, and then I said, yeah, I want to do this. And at that point, he was simultaneously talking to other people in the sense, other role or director and everything.
Achha.
So after I said yes to it, I spoke to Sujoy. I thought, it's a brilliant film for him to direct. At that point, he was not really interested to direct this film. He was like, oh no, I don't think I know this is not my thing. He was acting a little pricey.
So would it be wrong if I said that, you were the one to bring in Sujoy as the director?
No.
Okay.
Amitabh Bachchan was the one who brought in Sujoy.
Okay,
because a few months down after I said yes to the film, and after Sujoy had said no, that he doesn't think that this is the right film for him, I hear that Mr. Bachchan and Sujoy are on board.
Okay.
So I'm like, when I said that direct, he didn't direct.
Achha.
So it's obvious, because Mr. Bachchan wanted to do it and he agreed to do it, is why Sujoy came on board. Okay. So I give him grief for that till date.
Okay. So maaf kar dena har waqt sahi nahi hota. Do you think, or do you kind of what do you call that, are one with the very idea or the statement?
I think it's very human. I think it will be. I don't think we have evolved.
कभी कभार हम लोग बोलते हैं ना forgive and forget. you know, it just
Yeah, we
life goes on.
sometimes,
We can-
yes, that's why we say बदला लेना हर बार जरूरी नहीं होता, पर माफ कर
करना
देना
भी-
भी हर बार सही नहीं होता. So it's both ways, situation to situation. It's, you know, what suits the situation best. You should decide that, but it's a very human emotion to take revenge.
Absolutely, absolutely. How was it shooting in Glasgow? Most of the film
It's
is
a beautiful city. Entire film is shot in Scotland, Glasgow and Aviemore. It is a beautiful country, and I'd never visited that country before this. So I think, yeah, I'm pretty lucky that I went there and I saw the entire Glasgow pretty much for the entire month.
I see.
Yeah, for it was a long schedule. It was a one stretch schedule, start to end, and I saw some beautiful locations and shot some at some beautiful locations. So I had a great time shooting for this.
Taapsee, it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that, to call you a wonderful actor. You have really, I mean, as I said already earlier in my interview, that you have been a part of wonderful films with beautiful roles, for that matter. So, a very pertinent question that I have right now in my mind is, which I have to ask you is, some of the roles that you do require a lot of psychological turmoil in the person, in the actor that you are, in the person that you are as Taapsee. Okay, so when the camera rolls and when the director says, okay, fine, cut. How long does it take for you as a person, as Taapsee, to get out of, for instance, if the name of the I forgot the name of the character in the film.
Naina said.
Naina. So how long does it take for Naina to get out of that entire mold of Naina and get back into Taapsee?
Actually, since I shoot films in a single stretch, most of my films, I kind of let the character overtake me during that time. It doesn't happen immediately in the first day, because you're psyching yourself out every single day. Every morning you get up and you play that role, you do that role play for 12 hours at a stretch, and then you just go back and sleep and come back again. You barely have time to yourself actually when you're shooting, and when you're shooting at a stretch, you barely have time to do anything else. So most of my films, I am psyching myself out every single day, so that character slowly seeps into me. And when I finish the film and come back home, it comes back home with me.
The
And
character comes back home.
to an extent, it comes back home. It psychs me out to an extent that I honestly tell people that I think I'm a psycho woman right now. I do get a weird, I get a little weird mood swings suddenly because of going in and out of such kind of intense and different roles, which kind of play with my brain a lot. So that is what you sign up when you take up such films, that
Exactly.
you're going to really play with your mind a lot. So that has happened.
And that actually shows on screen, because when that happens, when you transform into the character for that matter, it shows on screen.
Yeah, I think that is how a person can say, I honestly tried my best to portray that character,
yeah.
because you transform. It reflects in the way I talk. When I come back home after a film gets over, for a few days, the way I talk changes a little bit.
I see.
The way I dress up changes a little bit. I start dressing up like that character even after I come back home a little bit. So it takes me a little while. I have to go for a holiday, detach myself from my work totally for 4-5 days
Acha.
to just reboot and come back.
So when does this period actually happen, and when do you want to take holidays? Exactly after the film is
yeah,
over. The entire film is over.
soon after, or before starting the next film, I make sure I take. It's a part of the schedule. You have to do it. Otherwise, I think I'll go a little crazy.
How as a person, I mean, obviously you have a huge age difference with your co-star. As a person, how do you see him when he enacts out a particular role, for that matter? How do you I mean, do you have any takeaway from that, or do you learn something, or what is it, or do you try to incorporate whatever it is, his attributes are in your performance, for that matter?
I don't do that when I see him perform. I just bounce off his energy, and that's what makes my performance really good. I react, and
Achha.
it's because of his performance that my performance improves. Because when you get extremely good actor in front of you giving you counter dialogues, your performance automatically
Improves, yes.
because you're bouncing off that energy. So that is what really helps you perform better, and that's why I give a lot of credit of my performance to my co-stars. And even especially in this one, you won't believe, when you see the film, it's just one room and me and Mr. Bachchan sitting opposite each other for the maximum time. So all we have is to
So you mean to say it's a one-room drama? I mean,
no, you'll go out. I mean, you'll see a lot of things. But when it comes to Mr. Bachchan and my
Acha,
parts,
okay.
we are just sitting across the table. and discussing the case. So we only have each other to bounce off the energies from.
Absolutely.
We don't have the help of the environment around and the props around and all. We have to just use each other to create energy. And I
Okay.
think that really tests your chemistry.
My final question to you is, Sujoy has been there for a long time in the industry as well. He has directed a lot of wonderful films. I mean, what do you have to say about his choice of subjects? I mean, the fact that he has not, I mean, obviously, Amitabh Bachchan had actually dragged him to direct the film. But then, what do you have to take away from him as a director?
I think with the very few directors, I share a relationship where I can call them with their first names, and Shujoy is one of them.
Acha.
And that clearly explains the comfort level I have with him. Even before this film, it's been 3 years that we've been trying to work together, but
Oh, I
we've
see.
not been able to work together. Sometimes things got almost close to getting locked and it didn't happen, or sometimes some or the other reason it didn't happen. It very karmic connection that this happened the way it happened, but there were a lot of other films that we wanted to do together before this. Finally, this has happened. I'm happy it has happened because this is a perfect film for both of us to be a part of. And post this, with the kind of relationship I've shared with him, I think don't be surprised if I work with him again and again.
Okay. And even though I said was the last question, one thing that just cropped up in my mind was the fact that, you have worked with diverse directors earlier. You have worked with Mr. Anubhav Sinha. You have worked with, again, Sujoy Ghosh. Directors have different mindsets. Every different director has a different perspective. What is that main difference that you find? Because the kind of films that you have done, they're on that same serious strain, is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to drive at. So, what difference do you find in the direction of the directors that you have been a part of? Like, for instance, Naam Shabana ho gaya, Pink ho gaya, Badla ho gaya, and so many other films for that matter. So, what is that one ho sakta hai, two ho sakta hai, three ho sakta hai, that depends on you. But what is that one main difference that you find in these directors?
I think all of them, one thing is all of them are trying to explore the real characters and the reality in their films. I have done films, 2 films in fact, with a director like David Thaman, whose films are not about reality. It's about just creating some entertainment. I've worked there as well.
Judwat and all
Yes,
that.
so that is also there. But all the directors that you took the names of, I think the films that they've done with me especially, or the films that they mostly do, are inspired from real situations or real life. The characters are very real.
Yes.
And that is why you might find it similar, that they're in a real space. But all of their agendas and the kind of the way they make their films is different. Like, I mean, when it comes to Anubhav Sinha, he is extremely politically and socially aware. So his films reflect that, at least the one that I've done and the ones that he's working on. Shujoy is extremely good with playing with the psyche of confusing the audience and then exploring different probabilities. So he's good with that. Anurag Kashyap is extremely good at exploring the layers of characters. He brings out the grey shades, the best in characters. So they're different. They're different USPs, but the one common thing between all of them is that they explore reality.
Wow, that was a lovely, lovely conversation with the beautiful Taapsee Pannu for her upcoming film Badla. My name is Sandeep with Hindustan Times Online Desi Machini. Thank you so much.